Right, so I just watched season 4 of Stranger Things, and I thought it was pretty good. It's not the best season of the show, but it is a bit better than the past 2 seasons. Season 2 had a little bit of a narrative problem where it took a couple episodes to just focus on Eleven, and yeah, there was really good character development for her, but it kind of slowed down the overall narrative. And then season 3 was just all over the place with the story. This is pretty close to the quality of season 1, which is a good thing. I thought it was really creative how the Dungeons & Dragons element of the first season kind of came back in this one, because this season is basically a D&D campaign come to life. Now, the most well-done aspect of the season was definitely the characters and their relationships, because this season has a lot of scenes that take the time to slow down and really develop the relationships between all the characters, and they're all well done. There were never any scenes like that I thought were unnecessary or slowed the plot down. And I also thought the ways that the characters grew during the season were well written, especially Eddie, because, the first couple episodes, he's a huge jerk, he's super unlikable. I thought maybe he's going to kind of be the villain of the season, but as the season goes on, he's accused of murder, he just wants to clear his name, and where they take his character the last season, or the last episode, you start to feel for him a bit more, and you really want him to succeed. And I also enjoyed seeing more of Eleven's backstory with her and the other children at the lab. I thought that stuff was interesting. Now, I didn't care too much about the Hopper and Russian plotline. I didn't really care for that one as much. My 2 big criticisms this season are that it is overly long, and at times it got a bit too dark. Now, I get that this show is trying to some degree to be kind of like Stephen King. People have been saying that since, season 1. But just because Stephen King makes his books 1,000 pages, doesn't mean you need to make each episode of this season the length of a movie. And that was a huge problem, especially with the last episode, because the last episode has an extra half hour when it really should be wrapping up. I thought, okay, they've defeated the monster, this episode's almost... There's still 45 minutes left? How are there still 45 minutes left? And, it was basically kind of like Return of the King, where they're like, okay, now we're going over to this area to show what happened to this character. Now we're going to this part of the map to show what happened to this character. And it's 30 minutes of that. That's what it felt like. It really should have wrapped up a lot sooner. And like I said, it was a bit too dark at points. In my opinion, this season really towed the line of the TV-14 rating. I thought it had a little bit too dark of a tone and was a bit too violent. So I'm kind of mixed on this season. I thought it had some really good ideas, but at the same time, it also had too many ideas and probably should have been less ambitious. Hopefully next season they kind of go back to being a little bit more fun. It's less dark. Hopefully the episodes are 45 minutes to an hour and not an hour and a half, hour 45, 2.5 hours. That's way too long. Hopefully they go back to simpler length. So overall, I would say maybe this season for me gets a B+, 8 out of 10, and a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Let me know what you thought of season 4.